This is ABC Big 2 News, first at 11:30.
This morning, people around the country are celebrating Black History Month and President's Day. But with early voting underway in Texas, there are deep concerns about new laws that many say make it harder for people to cast their votes.
That's right. ABC's Rachel Scott has more on the changes and the impact they are having across the state.
This morning, with Texas voters heading to the polls for the nation's first primary.
Get out and vote.
The state's new and strict election law is being put to the test.
What was the first thing that crossed your mind when you learned of the new election laws in the state of Texas?
Jim Crow 2.0.
74-year-old Pam Gaskin has been voting by mail for nearly a decade. She says it has never been this hard to cast her ballot.
Have you ever experienced anything like this before?
No. You don't know which way to turn.
Pam and her husband Michael, who suffers from Parkinson's disease, were denied ballots twice. And they are among thousands of voters who have had mail-in ballot applications rejected in Texas. One reason, for the first time, voters are required to submit their social security number or driver's license number. And it has to be the same form of ID they used when they first registered to vote. For Pam, that was 46 years ago.
I'm 74 years old. I certainly didn't remember what I put on my application.
It took 3 forms, 28 days, several calls, and some guessing before her mail-in ballot was accepted.
These laws were meant to stop certain classes and categories of people from voting.
Across the country, 19 states have passed laws that make it tougher for people to vote. Civil rights organizations are sounding the alarm.
So we've seen really extraordinary results coming from the power of the Black community in Texas. And unfortunately, it is exactly because of that power that we've seen state officials react by trying to make voting more difficult for that community.
Republicans in Texas insist the new law protects the integrity of elections. Some voters support the changes.
In your opinion, these new changes, you see them as helping protect elections?
Yes, I do. I don't want any fraud.
But Pam worries others won't go through the lengths she did to cast their ballot.
I want everybody who can hear me say this to hear this. It is worth it. It is worth it. Don't give up. Don't give in.
So some civil rights organizations say this is a test run for that new election law.
But they say what's even more concerning is that some states are looking to copy it ahead of the midterm elections. And we are your local election headquarters, and thousands of you have cast your votes early. In Midland County, nearly 3,800 people have voted early. In Ector County, that number sits at just under 2,600 voters. Those numbers include both in-person and mail-in ballots.
Now, you do have until Friday, February 25th to cast your vote early in person. Make sure to stay tuned right here to ABC Big 2 News for the latest coverage ahead of Election Day, March 1st.
Now, your Big 2 forecast first.
All right, well, today is President's Day after all, so it is a holiday for many of you guys out there and a pretty nice day to be off.
Yeah, and it was, in my opinion, a picture-perfect weekend as far as weather as well, too.
Oh, my goodness. It was so nice. I know. I went mini golfing. I was like,
You got to get outside.
I was like, yeah, I got to do something fun outside. Ryan, how about you? How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was nice. I went on a couple runs, and it was just very beautiful to do so, but we got to talk about inclement weather later today in the form of gusty winds, potentially blowing dust, and storms. Sound familiar? That's something that we saw late last week. Dew point temperatures, which indicate how much moisture is in the air, It's a little bit lower here in the northern and western basin, but more moist air in the southern and eastern basin. That's where we could be seeing those storms fire off in a few hours from now, but will not limit those high temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Low temperature this morning right around 45, 46 degrees, so way above normal for this time of year. That's going to be the big story for really many locations today. Those winds already starting to pick up. We have a high wind warning and a wind advisory in the western basin. Those purples and reds, my goodness, indicate those winds gusting over 50 to 60 miles per hour and sustained from 30 miles per hour at times. We could be seeing those winds switch direction as we head later tomorrow. And here's our cold front coming through, and I'll be talking about well below normal temperatures, particularly later in the week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, this morning there's a couple road projects for you to be aware of. Txdot is working to install 2 traffic signals along Loop 338. They will be installed at the intersections of West Yukon Road and North JBS Parkway. There will be a reduced speed limit in these areas, and the project is expected to last for 4 months. Crews are working on a project on Highway 158 starting this morning. It's all in an effort to rehabilitate that highway and part of the State Highway 140 in Midland. 1 lane will be open in each direction.
Developing now at 11:30, a man whose truck was stolen ended up leading the Ector County Sheriff's Office to a major crime bust in Odessa last night. ABC Big 2's Tatiana Battle joins us now with the latest on their investigation.
10 people are behind bars after the Ector County Sheriff's Office found illegal drugs in more than a dozen vehicles last night. Sheriff Mike Griffiths with the Ector County Sheriff's Office said that the major bust started with a man looking for his trailer that was attached to a mobile barbecue pit around 9 p.m. Sunday night. The man followed the suspected thief to a yard on Swan and Canyon in West Odessa, and when deputies arrived on the scene, they discovered 10 to 15 stolen vehicles and 100 pounds of marijuana.
The investigation at this point is going to take quite a few days, maybe weeks, to get it completed.
Griffiths says that the suspects involved are believed to be undocumented immigrants. And if you have any information at all regarding this case, call the Sheriff's Office. In Odessa, Tatiana Battle, ABC Big 2 News.
And the identity of the man who led officers to the scene is being kept anonymous, as the Ector County Sheriff Mike Griffiths says that this crime could lead to a bigger operation.
Well, in Chicago, dozens of firefighters were called to battle a multi-alarm fire earlier this morning. It spread to several businesses and a nearby apartment building. One 60-year-old was taken to the hospital in serious condition. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And 6 people were shot in Oregon over the weekend at protest over the death of Patrick Kimmons, who was killed in Portland, and Amir Locke, who was killed in Minneapolis. The violence unfolded in Portland, where police say 1 person died and 5 others were severely hurt. Police are still investigating the shooting with a number of people behind bars. This morning, it's still unclear if there is a suspect still on the loose.
And we turn now to a murder mystery in upstate New York. A college honors student was found dead on the side of the road, and now there's a long list of questions about the man police believe is responsible. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
A growing number of questions in the shooting death of 21-year-old college student Elizabeth Howell.
First rescue, female, unknown trauma. All persons on scene.
On Friday evening, police found Howell's body on a road 100 feet from the campus of SUNY Potsdam in upstate New York, where she was a cellist in the symphony. A day later, police arrested and charged 31-year-old Michael Snow of nearby Messina with second-degree murder. At his arraignment, Snow was remanded to St. Lawrence County Jail without bail. The school says he has no affiliation with the college, either as a student, employee, or graduate. Howell's father tells the New York Post she didn't have enemies and certainly no one that would want to kill her. As soon as they told us, we figured wrong place, wrong time. And he calls Howell a wonderful young lady, a talented musician, a dear friend, and all-around great person. Now police asking the public for information on the alleged killer's whereabouts on the day of the murder, releasing a photo of his gray Honda Civic. What led to Snow's arrest remains unclear, the school only saying it appears to be an isolated incident. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, another story we're following this morning, a series of helicopter crashes over the weekend. On Saturday afternoon, a helicopter was caught on camera crashing into the ocean off of Miami Beach. The 3 people on board are expected to be okay, as police say it was a close call. The FAA is still investigating the crash that left witnesses shocked.
People were trying to hold the helicopter up so the helicopter didn't sink so they could try to get the people out.
Meanwhile, on Saturday night in California, another tragic accident. A Huntington Beach police chopper went down in the Newport Beach area, which is just south of Los Angeles. 2 officers were on board and 1 died.
The helicopter crashed for reasons that we're not certain of. One of the officers, a 16-year veteran, was extricated and he went to a local hospital or nearby hospital where he is in critical condition, but he is doing okay. The other officer, a 14-year veteran, unfortunately and tragically passed away.
A procession was held for the fallen officer outside of the hospital.
And over in Canada, the weeks-long trucker protests have come to an end. Protesters occupied the streets in front of Parliament Hill for more than 3 weeks, pushing back against COVID-19 restrictions. Ottawa police say nearly 40 vehicles have been towed and 170 people have been arrested.
Well, this morning, the Biden administration says the crisis with Russia over in Ukraine is escalating and Russian troops could strike at any moment. ABC's Zareen Shah is in Washington with more.
Preparing for invasion. That's what the White House says Russian troops are still ready to do.
We can't say anything other than indications on the ground look like Russia is still moving forward.
President Biden meeting with his national security team today, and now U.S. officials telling ABC News they believe Russian tactical commanders have been told to be ready for orders to invade. U.S. officials raising the alarm, writing to the UN that if they invade, Russia could target specific Ukrainians for assassination or prison camps, saying the targets could include those who oppose Russian actions, journalists and anti-corruption activists, and vulnerable populations, such as religious and ethnic minorities and LGBTQI+ persons. U.S. officials say over 150,000 Russian troops have enclosed 3 sides of Ukraine, with over half in attack position. And Russia saying their military will stay in Belarus indefinitely. ABC's James Longman on the ground as drills took place.
These military drills have certainly taken on a much more threatening character.
And President Vladimir Putin just this weekend supervising a nuclear-capable ballistic missile test firing alongside Belarusian ally President Lukashenko. Now Putin says Russia is threatened with the potential of Ukraine joining NATO, calling on the alliance to withdraw troops in Eastern European members. But it's Russia that seized Ukrainian territory in 2014 and threatens to do so again.
Putin still sees Ukraine as part of the Soviet Empire. He doesn't like that there have been discussions about Ukraine joining NATO.
Russian officials say it is too early to talk about a meeting with Biden, but they haven't ruled it out. Both sides say, though, that their foreign ministers will meet first thing Thursday. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Washington.
Be sure to follow the latest developing news on the Your Basin app. You can download it on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
All right, coming up at 11:30, earbuds you can wear all day long. We introduce you to Sony's hottest new listening device.
And above normal temperatures are dominating the basin, and with that, potentially inclement weather. A fire weather warning and a wind advisory in parts of the basin, as well as a high wind warning. And I'll be tracking the threat of storms potentially later this afternoon.
ABC Big 2 News Evenings with Madeline Bierster and Carson Bush-Jost.
Stan, why would Stanton Optical choose a penguin as their spokesbird? They're not your typical eye care company. I'm not your typical penguin.
How is Stanton Optical different from all the other eye care services?
Reliable professional advice. Same-day glasses, unbeatable prices, and eye exams whenever you need them. I could go on.
Stan?
Yes?
How does it feel to be the new face of Stanton Optical?
We're a team. There's no I in eye care. Wait, you know what I mean.
Get 2 pairs of glasses plus a free eye exam, anti-glare lenses, and same-day service for only $79.
When we say no store does more, it's because our produce partners are always doing more. Sourcing fresh fruits and vegetables, selecting for the perfect ripeness, and offering convenient, freshly cut produce that makes it easy to grab and go. Because when we do more, snack time takes no time. Which means more family time. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Spokesperson for Robert White. I got hurt bad in a car wreck and I need help, but I don't have money to hire a lawyer.
It doesn't cost you anything to hire me. I only get paid when I win your case, so you can keep your money in your pocket.
After a car wreck, it doesn't cost anything up front to hire Robert White. Keep your money in your pocket.
If I don't win your car wreck case, you don't pay. Call me. It's just that easy.
Call 580-5421.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, that moment when we see a patient smile is everything to us. So whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, we're here to help you. Go ahead and smile.
Go ahead and smile.
Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and smile.
Texas is a very, very special place, and we're going to keep it the way it is.
That's why President Trump's backing Kevin Sparks for Texas Senate. Trump says Sparks will defend our border and keep Texas strong.
What we cherish today can be gone tomorrow. I'm Kevin Sparks. We can't surrender our southern border. Since Biden won't step up, Texas must.
Conservative Kevin Sparks.
I am giving him my complete and total endorsement.
We're your weather authority. We warn you first.
Well above normal temperatures are dominating the basin, and look, mostly cloudy skies. Live look at Midland provided by Roofs by Nicholas Sky Tracker. We do see layers of clouds. These layers of clouds are called stratus clouds. Whenever we have usually these type of clouds, usually means that bad weather is either coming or leaving a given area within a couple of days span. In this case, it's coming within the next several hours. Gusty winds, blowing dust, potentially some thunderstorms as well. Now, taking a look again at the bigger picture, we do have some clouds in the increase and some weather alerts as well. A fire weather warning in those pink colored counties, including southeast New Mexico, Carlsbad, Hobbs, in effect till 6 p.m. local time. Wind advisory in these tan colored counties in effect till, again, 6 p.m. for those gusty winds picking up in intensity in some of those higher elevations. Speaking of those, the highest of elevations, a high wind warning. Those winds can gust over 60 miles per hour. So does this sound familiar? Yeah, it's something that we saw later on Wednesday with blowing dust embedded in some thunderstorms. So that's something that we could be seeing today. And we have, fairly enough ingredients for that. Current temperature, 67 degrees. Dew point temperature, around 27 degrees. So a little bit of dry air in the lower levels of the atmosphere, but those winds starting to pick up. And then those dew point temperatures are going to start to rise, meaning that there's more low-level moisture to work with. And that's something that we're already starting to see here in the eastern basin. A lot of clouds on the increase, and then we're going to see those clouds even increase even more in coverage, and storms firing off around 2, 3, 4 p.m., especially in the northern eastern basin, maybe some of the higher elevations of the western basin and places near Fort Stockton. So if you guys are traveling today, later this afternoon, watch out for those storms. Gusty winds, small hail, and flash flooding is not out of the question. I think here in Odessa, Midland, though, I do think there's a lot of dry air, so we'll hear thunder and see lightning, but not much in the way of any rainfall. I think our best chances of rainfall will be in the northern eastern basin, where there is a marginal risk of severe weather. So let's talk about flood safety. Turn around, don't drown, avoid those flooded roadways, and drive slowly in some of those puddles, because you don't want your car ending up looking like that. We want to avoid any accidents on this President's Day. Any storms ending mostly around 10 p.m. or so. Low temperature of 46 degrees with gusty winds, especially early in the overnight winds gusting as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour, especially some of those storms near the eastern basin. 70 to 80 degree high temperatures near 80 degrees in Fort Stockton, cooling off into the 40s and lower 50s tonight before warming back up tomorrow, but not quite as warm as this afternoon. Mid-70s, gusty winds, more clouds later in the day, and then potentially later in the day tomorrow in the overnight, we could be talking about light wintry precipitation. Here comes that cold front. Low temperatures in the 20s, high temperatures only at the freezing mark, and remaining cool but slightly warmer as we head throughout the rest of the week.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, Sony just came out with a new set of earbuds that you can actually wear all day, which I'm not sure how this works. I'm a little skeptical
I don't know.
here.
I don't know that I'd like to keep something in my ear all day, but we'll see. They're called Lynx Buds, and they're meant to be worn even when you're not actively listening to something. Rich DeMiro tests them out.
Sony is making a new type of earbuds called Lynx Buds. Instead of taking them out when you're done with a phone call or listening to your music, they have a unique design, plus features that make them easier to leave in longer. You know the routine. Okay, all right, bye-bye. Earbuds go in when you're taking a call or listening to music. They come out when you're done. But Sony Lynx Buds are different. They have an open-air design, almost like the top and bottom are twisted apart. That hole through the middle lets you hear what you're listening to and be a part of the world around you.
So far, so good with the Sony Lynx Buds.
To test them out, I took them on a run, made some calls, and worked at my computer. Audio quality is excellent, and I like how they don't shut off the outside world. The fit takes some getting used to. There's a little rubber band with adjustable sizes that helps them stay in your ears.
A few features make these earbuds unique, like adaptive volume control. They'll raise or lower the volume automatically based on your surroundings. I found this feature to be just okay.
Then there's Speak to Chat. This feature automatically pauses music when you talk. Amazing in theory, but in reality, you have no idea how many times you talk to yourself.
Ah, what a beautiful day. Oh, now paused. With that feature on, you can forget about singing along to your favorite songs.
A cough might also trigger a pause. Once the audio stops, you have to wait a bit for the music to resume.
The good news is you have control over all these settings in the app. So if you don't like the music pausing when you talk, you can turn that off. Or if you don't like the automatic volume control, you can turn that off as well.
Finally, instead of touching the earbuds to play or pause audio, built-in sensors let you tap in front or behind them. I found tapping on the cheekbone works best. Overall, Sony's $180 Lynx Buds are an easier way to mix music and calls into everyday life.
It's pretty neat to see some fresh innovation in earbuds. The Sony Lynx Buds are available now, and the battery lasts about 5 hours, so you probably won't be leaving them in all day long, but the case charges them too. More information on my website, richontech.tv. I'm Rich DeMuro, and you are Tech Smart.
Coming up at 11:30, how this year is gearing up to be a big one for space exploration and space-related activities.
And as we head to break, a reminder that if you see news happening, share your videos and photos on social media with us.
And we want to see your birthday celebrations. Submit content on social media using the hashtag ABCBig2News or go to yourbasin.com. We feature birthday photos on Good Morning Basin Fridays at 6 a.m.
Suffering with chronic pain? Told a costly surgery with weeks of downtime is your only option? Integrated Pain Associates is your source for pain relief and now serving the Permian Basin. The physicians at IPA believe you shouldn't suffer in pain. They've provided thousands of patients long-lasting solutions with the use of state-of-the-art, minimally invasive technology to restore function and mobility. Schedule your free MRI review today. Your journey to a pain-free life starts at IPA.
Home. It's furniture, electronics, and appliances, plus a whole lot more. Live the plus life at Cons Home Plus. During the President's Day sale, get star-spangled savings, plus next-day delivery options and personalized financing. Only at Cons Home Plus.
I was driving through that intersection, and a car ran a red light and hit me.
I'm attorney Ted Lyon. If you got injured in a wreck, we can help.
Hurt in a car wreck and need money? Call Long Car Lion Jenkins, the strong arm.
I was hurt bad, and the insurance company was trying to lowball me.
Let us deal with the insurance company so you don't have to.
Long Car Lion Jenkins fought for me and got me over $200,000.
Call the strong arm. We'll fight to get you the money you deserve.
800, then all sevens.
A fresh start begins with fresh choices, like choosing to save more with Suddenlink. Get reliable, high-speed, 1 gig internet for just $49.99 a month. With it, you'll get a $200 Visa prepaid card, HBO Max included on us for 1 year, and a free Suddenlink stream with your favorite shows and streaming apps all in one device. Choose to start fresh by saving more on our fastest speed. Plus, as part of optimum flexibility from Suddenlink, there are no contracts or hidden fees. And unlock even more value when you combine with Optimum Mobile. Visit Suddenlink.com today.
The Black Cultural Council of Odessa proudly celebrates and promotes the history and culture of Black Americans in the Permian Basin. We are passionate about supporting local youth and educating our community. Please contact us today for more information.
Hello
Hello, I'm Bob Mills, and did you miss it? I'm talking about the Bob Mills President's Day free event with every mattress 32% off. So here's your last chance. Today, Monday, all mattresses, any size, any price, 32% off, along with 60 months to pay. Now remember, this Monday only, during the Bob Mills President's Day free event, and you never have to worry about those dreaded shopper stalkers. 32% off. Unbelievable.
Bob Mills Sleep Spa.
Watch Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Beck from Westex on Good Morning Basin.
Well, the space industry continues to boom, and Texas has really been at the forefront of that.
It has. I feel like every week now we hear of something new.
Yeah.
Jane King is in New York with that story in today's President's Day report.
There's no shortage of hype surrounding the commercial space industry. Elon Musk's SpaceX broke its own annual orbital launch record last year, and it's looking to pick up the blistering pace even more this year to an average of 1 launch per week. SpaceX successfully completed 31 launches in 2021, and that was beating its previous record of 26 launches in 2020. Now, for context, SpaceX represented about a fifth of the world's successful rocket launches last year, roughly keeping pace with the country of China. Jeff Bezos made news when he, his brother, actor William Shatner, and a crew flew into space last year. Blue Origin recently bought Honeybee Robotics, and it's best known for developing robotic systems, notably drills and other mechanisms for use on space missions. Now, in 2020, global space-related activities generated $447 billion, with commercial work accounting for almost 80% of that. Sinead O'Sullivan, a self-described interplanetary economist at Harvard Business School, did say that spending money on space actually is a way to increase the economy on Earth very efficiently, noting that for every dollar the government spends in the space industry translates to close to $50 in societal value, like skilled jobs, new products and services, and more research and development programs. Well, this year should be a big one for space exploration with a pair of massive rockets, both more powerful than the Saturn V that flew the Apollo astronauts to the moon, are getting ready to fly as part of NASA's Artemis Mission, which aims to return astronauts to the lunar surface by 2025. From New York, I'm Jane King with your President's Day Business Report.
And news breaks.
News now at 11:30. Midland police have arrested several people at Midland Christian School.
ABC Big 2 News is there, both online and TV. Get the big breaking stories on ABC Big 2 News and yourbasin.com.
When you create and dominate a sport, you become known for it. I'm Avi Kargloth, and here at Sul Ross State University, they are the Rodeo School.
Watch the Rodeo School tonight at 10 on ABC Big 2 News.
Welcome to Sonic. May I take your order?
Can I get 2 patty melts?
Melt the cheese. Order up.
Sonic patty melt. This week on The View, Darlene Love shares the love with a Valentine's Day performance. Plus, Bubba Wallace, Garcelle Beauvais, and the one, the only Mary J. Blige on the most watched #1 daytime talk show, ABC's The View.
Why would Stanton Optical choose a spokesbird? They're not your typical eye care company. I'm not your typical penguin. We're a team. There's no I in eye care. Wait.
Get 2 pairs of glasses plus a free eye exam, anti-glare lenses, and same-day service for only $79.
I thought all Goodwill did was just receive donations and then turn around and sell them. But it honestly wasn't until I became the career specialist here at Goodwill West Texas that I learned about all of the things that the Career Center does.
You know, Goodwill's mission is to provide employment for people with barriers.
Goodwill helped a lot of people out, and they helped me out finding a job.
Knowing that it is 100% possible to overcome those barriers just gives me the utmost confidence to let other people know they can do it too.
I need a double stuffed Oreo blast, guys.
You got it.
Gonna need a double stuffed Oreo waffle cone too.
Coming right up. Order up. Sonic double stuffed Oreo waffle cone and blast.
Temperatures warming up into the 70s and 80s with gusty winds blowing dust and a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms and early evening thunderstorms. So something to keep an eye on if you guys are traveling today or going to go outside. Overnight lows in the 40s to 50s with any storms ending by 10 p.m. or so. Drier tomorrow, but still warm. but it's really windy and much cooler as we head into Wednesday, and cool for the remainder of the week.
Well, it's been warm here, but not so much in other parts of the country.
Clearly.
Have you ever seen a cow operate a snowblower? Well, I bet not. This was the sight many woke up to in a neighborhood of Kansas City the other day. One man decided to help his neighbors out after the snowstorm by clearing out their sidewalks, and he did so while in a cow costume. Gotta love it.
I guess if you're going to have to, plow snow, do it in a cow costume.
Love it.
Might as well have some fun with it. All right, guys. Well, hopefully, we're not seeing any of that today. It'll stay nice and warm, so enjoy the outdoors. We'll see you back here tomorrow.